today I'm going to be sharing the secret sauce for good health. Okay, totally kidding. But today, tune in to this episode for my top 10 health and wellness tips. As a health coach, I've read the books. I've watched the webinars. I've attended the seminars. But let me get real with you. My personal top 10 tips that I do daily to care for my own well-being, whether it's mental, physical, or emotional health, we've got you covered today. Get ready to take charge of your life and embrace a healthier, happier you. Do not miss this empowering episode. Steps that you can begin to implement into your life immediately. It's time to level up your health game. Hi, I'm Jenna Dix, and I'm always rambling. Just ask my husband. I have a great family and a pretty cool life, but I'm a recovered alcoholic. That's hard to say. But my goal is to inspire and educate to help others hopefully find life beyond an addiction. I'm all things: sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Getting healthy, momming, and politics. Get offended easily? You better stop listening. There is no point in wasting that Botox by stressing yourself out listening to a podcast. Welcome to Ramblings of an Addict with Jenna Dix. Today's episode brought to you by products and services I'm thoroughly addicted to. Embrace the radiant glow of summer with luxurious spray tanning services by Jenna Dix, aka me. I bought my small tanning franchise in 2016 and have been tanning up Minnesota beauties ever since. Whether you're headed to the beach, a special event, or just want to feel fabulous all summer long without having to lay out in those harmful UV rays, our custom blended tans will leave you feeling sun-kissed and gorgeous. With expert techniques and premium solutions, I will create the perfect shade to complement your skin tone, ensuring that you have a radiant glow that fits you perfectly. Don't wait any longer to get your summer glow on. Book your spray tan now and get ready to shine bright all season. Limited spots available, so do not miss out on the chance to be a sun-kissed beauty this summer. Jenna Dix Spray Tans, information found in the show notes. Hey, welcome to today's episode. Thank you so much for popping in and joining me. We are mid-swing of the summer. I hope you are enjoying it. I know it's been a hot one. No matter where you are right now in the country, it seems, the temperatures are nice and toasty. And if you're like me and you love the summer and you love the heat and you love the sun, it is totally our jam. But if you're like my family, who would rather apparently be in the shade, hopefully you're catching plenty of shade on these beautiful summer days as well. But as summer is flying by, continuing to keep these podcast episodes rolling, make sure as we're jumping into today's, like I said, we're going to be talking health tips, right? Make sure you're sharing this episode with your fellow mom pals, because goodness knows, as females, we are always all looking for health and wellness tips. So make sure to share it with your mom pals, and if you would not mind, please rate and review the podcast in whatever podcast app you are listening to. All right, so we're going to jump right in here, and I'm going to get real right off the bat. So I'm going to be completely honest. Is my body weight right now perfect? Heck no. So I've been a health coach now for, goodness, 20, doing the math, like 12 years. And I know my stuff inside and out. But even though I know it, sometimes I hit hiccups, right? Just like everyone else. And this year, I've definitely had a little bit more of a roller coaster ride with my health. I've been lucky, no like health scares or anything like that, but my weight itself has been a little bit more of a struggle this year than it typically is. I would say probably in the last decade this has been one of the hardest hiccups I've had. And honestly, I think it's because my body is finally my body for the first time in 4.5 years, because I got pregnant and then I nursed, and I just stopped nursing this past December, and all of a sudden, yay, my body is my own. But that also means my body has no other calories to account for and expend, right? It's not trying to make milk. It's not trying to make a baby. Now it's like, woo, we're trying to find our true north again. So it's been a little bit difficult. And as I said, right, I went to the doctor. I'm completely healthy. My labs all look good. So it's just been some trial and correction. But at the same time, my health and wellness steady tips that I incorporate on a regular basis have not slipped. They have stayed steady the entire time. I may trial and correct with a couple things here and there, but the core tips that I'm going to be sharing with you today have not slipped. They have been the exact same, because I know, number one, they're what make me feel good. And number two, I know that in the end, if I stay consistent, it's going to pay off, and it's going to be a lot easier to stay consistent versus, fall off track and then have to try to get back on track. Which, let me say, I'm going to caveat that if you ever fall off track, it's 1000% possible to get back on track. I just know, right? It's like a train. Once it's going, the momentum is there. Once you have to get it going, it's a lot harder. So I'm going to jump right into my tips. I have 10 tips that I want to share with you. And my tips are broken down into categories. Some are more nutrition focused, some are more exercise, fitness focused, and some are more of the more mind and soul types of health tips that I incorporate. And as I said, these are things that I focus on a daily basis. Okay. So we're going to jump right into nutrition. I think nutrition, number one, is honestly the base. Like, if you can't exercise, but your nutrition is still there, you still have a leg up on majority of people, right? Nutrition is key. So the first tip I have actually has to do with hydration. So it's not necessarily I'm eating anything, right? But making sure that my body is staying hydrated, right? All the science, all the facts, right? Yes, making sure that you are staying hydrated. It helps with regulating your body temperature. It helps with making sure that you have the proper fluids for digestion, all those fun things. But in the end, right, hydration also, number one, it just makes me feel less bloated. It helps my skin look better. And I just have a little bit more energy. I know sometimes when I feel like lethargic, and a lot of normal people would probably grab for a cup of coffee or, an energy drink. If I slam 20 ounces of water, it's like, oh, I feel a lot better. Or sometimes people, running into the dehydration headaches. Hydration benefits are, there's a plethora. It's super important to make sure you're staying hydrated. So personally, my hydration rule is for myself. I drink 125 ounces of water every single day. There's rules of thumb out there, right? Like, take your body weight, divide it in half. That's how many ounces of water you should be drinking every day. Okay, cool. Well, if I did that, I'm still like, oh goodness, I'm way over. I would say close to 50 ounces over that, right? I just have found what works for me. I know if I go below 100, my skin's going to get really dry. I'm not going to feel as good. My stomach kind of feels hard and just doesn't, right? Digestion. So for me, 100 is minimum. 125 is what I hit. I would say at least 6 days a week though. So 125 every single day. And I start out my day by having 50 ounces of water before I have any caffeine. So no coffee, no Bang energy drinks, no anything energy wise until I have 50 ounces of water. And I kind of just lied a little bit. I have a pre-workout shot that I take right away in the morning. And I won't even lie. I take that first if I work out, right? Like I will go out and I'll have my pre-workout and then I'll get my workout in and I start drinking my water right away, right? But like actual like sit down and enjoy it caffeine, zilch, until I hit 50 ounces of water. So you might want to try to implement a rule like that for yourself if you notice you're struggling. And if the first thing you're grabbing for is a cup of Joe, you might want to try to tweak it a little bit because that's not what your body needs first thing in the morning. It needs water. All right. Kind of hand in hand with that, one tip that I just implement this one naturally. I don't know. So I don't get any empty calories from beverages, I would say 95% of the time. I'm so boring. I drink water. I may drink water with like, through my health company that, my Patriot type of health company that I shop, they have a mix in that I can put in there that almost makes it like a Gatorade, like typical electrolyte drink. It's flavorful, it's really good, but it's healthier than a Gatorade, right? I mix that in my water sometimes. But other than that, it's water, coffee, and then I have 2 energy drinks a week. I have a special one on Friday and Saturday. I don't know. I'm weird, but no other calories typically are coming, or no other nutrition, no empty nutrition, right? From a drink beyond that. So I guess the only thing I really have that has empty calories would be coffee because I do put a little creamer in there, right? I'm not the type that's going to go get a frou-frou coffee drink at Starbucks. I'm not the type of person that's going to go and order a big old, soda or, I don't drink anymore, obviously, hence the title of this podcast. I will say every once in a while, if I'm finding myself in a social situation where everyone is drinking, I may order a mocktail or a non-alcoholic beer. Very rarely a non-alcoholic beer anymore, just because I finally have just accepted the fact that I really didn't like beer to begin with. I just drank it because it would mess me up, right? But mocktails, right? If you order a good one, sometimes they're just refreshing, they're tasty. I feel like I'm more part of the social situation, but that's a personal thing. And that, honestly, I would say I have maybe 1 or 2 mocktails throughout an entire month. Otherwise, like I said, 95% of the time I'm drinking water because I'd rather get my nutrition and my calories from food. I don't want to be sipping on them, okay? All right, number 3. Every single day, I have at least 1 serving of vegetables. Most days, I would say I have at least 3 to 5. But every day, I have at least 1. I make this a point. And let's be real, there's days that you're like flowing through your day and you're like, crap, I didn't have any veggies today. Well, it happens, right? So usually if I go out to eat, I make sure then that I always order a side salad to get the meal started. So that's a nice way to get a vegetable in. There's been times that I'll just walk into the kitchen and grab out like the cucumber bowl or, a bag of carrots. And I just start munching just to get a serving in, even if it didn't necessarily happen with a meal. Because let's be honest, like I think our hardest day in our house is if we ever do flip-flop breakfast where we do breakfast for dinner. It is not easy to get a veggie in if you're sitting down to a plate full of, like French toast and eggs. But it's just not tasty. But make sure then in some other way, whether it's a snack or something, that you're getting in your vegetables. Like I said, my personal rule for me is, did I have at least 1 serving of vegetables today? If not, like there's been plenty of nights, it's 10 o'clock and I'm standing in the kitchen eating cucumbers, okay? Number 1, it's just good for your digestion. But for me, it's more of the habit of, did I have enough veggies today? Okay? And that's when you can teach your kids really young. I've talked about it before, but like even Mac, every day we make sure she's offered vegetables at least once, typically twice. Does she always eat them? Not so much. But we try. They're there, they're offered. But she's even been trained now that, like, if she's having digestion issues, like, say she's in the bathroom on her little pink potty and she's having some issues, she'll look at me and be like, Mommy, I need more vegetables. Yeah, you do. So we'll leave the bathroom afterward and she'll go grab some cucumbers, right? Or some tomatoes or whatever. But it's just important to start to teach those lessons young. So if you have a little, just a heads up. All right. Number 4. I personally have the rule for myself. I never say, oh, I can't have that. Meaning, like, I can't have that because I'm on a diet. Or I can't have that because, oh, I don't eat carbs. I can't have that because, oh, I'm trying to lose weight. Or, oh, I'm trying to be healthier. I can't have that. F that. You can eat anything you want. You have free will, right? There's no food police that are going to come and arrest you if you eat pizza or ice cream. The thing is, if you tell yourself, I can't have that, you start to create a cycle in your brain, a deprivation cycle where, oh, I can't have that. Oh, I really want that. Oh, I really want that. Every day, I really want that. I really want that. Until you give in. And if you're lucky, you give in once. Typically, though, more often than not, it's like a snowball effect. You give in once and you give in again and again and again and again and again and again, right? That's why I never say that. I tell myself, oh, I could totally have that. Do I want that? Not really. Plenty of times I do have it. Yeah, I want it. I'll just have a little. Or, oh, I'll just have that today. And, you know, when you guys have seconds of that tomorrow, I'm going to skip that. But I had it yesterday, right? Don't create these limits in your brain where, oh, I can't have that. I'm not allowed to have that. Because you're literally just essentially setting yourself up for a mental failure. You know, I know this is why when I stopped competing in bikini competitions, that is why I gained like 30 pounds in a summer. Because I had just had a year where I had literally told everyone and told myself, nope, I can't have that. And for real, in that type of training, that's kind of the mindset you're in, right? Oh, I can't have that. You know, I can't have candy. I can't have fruit. I can't have peanut butter more than 2 tablespoons. I can't have. And when I was essentially given the go-ahead of, oh, I can have that, I had it. And I had all of it. I had all the things. And I gained 30 pounds in 3 months. So, just a heads up. Try to change your language. Oh, I don't want that. Right? I even do the same for me with drinking. It's not, oh, I can't have booze. I choose not to have booze. Oh, I don't want that. I don't need that. It's not, I can't have that. All right, number 5. 90% of what I eat is not coming from a package / processed package, right? Meaning like our meat, it comes in a package. Our fruit, it comes in a package, right? Or a bag or something, right? It comes in something. I'm not trying to juggle all these random food items. But 90% of what we eat is not processed. It's more raw, whole foods. I have been on this kick for years where I try to eat more unprocessed foods anyway, just because they typically are better for you. Then when Haley came into my life, I tried to change a little bit because I knew, okay, do I want this kid eating a bunch of chemicals all day? Not really. I want her healthy and I want her living on real food. And then when Mac, it really just upticked, right? I really don't want my own child eating that either. And then with COVID, I was really of the mindset like, okay, let's try to make sure we're getting a lot of good nutrition from our food. And I don't want it like siphoned into the food. I don't want it like syringed into the food. I want to eat whole food that I know what the vitamins and minerals look like. And I also know what's not going in there, right? So, yeah, and you can get on your high horse, right? I've had this, tit for tat debate a little bit here and there with, well, what about the pesticides that go on the fruits and veggies? Okay, yeah, I'm sure there are. And yeah, we try to buy the organic or the healthier versions, but let's be real. Sometimes there's things that we just don't know. And sometimes I just got to give myself a little peace and be like, there's going to be things I don't know, and that is what it is. But I do know when I look at a package and there's, 15 items on the ingredients list and I can correctly pronounce maybe 3, not really something I want to be eating or giving my family. My husband and I were just talking about this. And yeah, we are conservative people. I won't even lie, our tinfoil hats have continued to come on a little bit firmer with time. And it's like, yeah, I really have no urge of feeding the girls or even ourselves like processed packaged food because I don't know. I just don't trust all the entities out there anymore. And I would rather know exactly what's in our food. So yeah, making pizza crust on Fridays every week and all the ingredients from scratch versus throwing in a frozen pizza, it takes a lot longer. I would say with practice, actually, we've gotten it down in time. So I would say maybe double what a frozen pizza would take. But it takes longer. But to me, the ROI is there. It's worth it. So you can pick your reasoning of why, but do your research. Packaged food is not the best for you. So should you be sitting down to lean cuisines and things of that sort all the time? Probably not, right? I mean, usually when you look at true healthy individuals, they are not sitting and eating packaged food all day long. And I'm not saying skinny people or, people that look the part, healthy people. All right, number 6. We're shifting a little bit from nutrition into exercise. So exercising for me, I exercise 5 times per week minimum. Whether it's because I still use my Beachbody On Demand streaming service, right? So I'll do a Beachbody program, or I will, we have an in-home gym downstairs where we have free weights and we have a punching bag and we have a treadmill and we have resistance bands. So sometimes I'll go down there and use that stuff. One day a week, we hit up a special boutique gym. But yeah, 5 times per week, typically Monday through Friday, we are working out. And I say we. Mike joins me a couple times. He's not at 5 anymore. He used to be, but with life, he's just shifted a little bit. And it is what it is for him, and he's okay with that right now. But for me personally, I know for mind, body, soul, 5 times per week has to happen. It doesn't get skipped. And honestly, the last time I was like skipping workouts was when I was pregnant, and it was because I was so nauseous or lightheaded that I safely could not work out, right? But beyond that, 5 times per week, even if that meant when Mac was little, like I would baby wear her and do a lighter workout. I mean, she just kind of bounced around and she'd giggle and, watch mommy from down on my tummy, and we made it work. But 5 times per week is my personal non-negotiable. In addition to that, okay, so if there is no snow flying outside, we are also getting daily movement outside every single day. I would say 70% of the time. There are some days that if I get a workout in and we aren't able to get outside and like go on a walk or something, I'm cool with it because it's like, I already got my workout in. But on Saturdays and Sundays, because those are typically the days I don't work out, I am outside going on a walk at some point. Even if that means we went on a date night and after our dinner date, I'm like, hey, let's quick, go on a couple mile little stroll together. And not only then are we getting some movement, we're getting some nice fresh air. And then if it's like a date night walk, it's a good time for Mike and I to connect. We've also really learned that going on family walks is a great time for the family to connect also. Especially Haley. I mean, McKenna, yeah. Typically we wind up playing games or like having fun conversations with her, like I Spy or things like that. But with Haley, we've noticed that we do have typically better conversations with her. And I think it comes down to the fact that it's because we're not sitting eye to eye. She's shoulder to shoulder with us, or, maybe even a step ahead or a step behind. But it's like, it's not as pressure filled, right? Like we're just having a chit chat. And she's not kind of in essentially the hot seat. So some extra bonuses there for you with that one. So outdoor movement is definitely a big one. And you can figure out what kind you like to do. We like to go on walks in our family. Maybe it's a bike ride thing for you, or maybe it's, paddle boarding or, paddle boating, right? Is that what it's called? Paddle boating? Yeah. Whatever you like to do outside, to get some extra movement in because it's super important to get that fresh air into your system also. And I said, when the snow's not flying, because I'm not even going to lie. I hate the cold. If it's really cold out, I will not be out there. If it's kind of okay, I'll still go out. I'll bundle up. We'll go on a quick walk. It's not my favorite, but I'll do it. All right, number 8. So now we're shifting. So we've talked about nutrition, talked a little bit about exercise. Now shifting a little bit into personal kind of like the body or the soul and the mind type of health, right? Because that is really important. That does tie together. They say mind, body, soul for a reason. Okay. So shifting gears here. Every single day, I do some type of personal development. Whether it's listening to a podcast or listening to, for me, sometimes if my schedule is really, really full, the only PD, as I call it, that I'll get in that day is listening to my Bible in a Year app one time. And so that's typically, 10-ish minutes per day. And I'll do it like when I'm getting out of the shower or something like that, just so I get something. But otherwise, like I was saying, podcasts, apps, books, reading the Bible, things of that sort, making sure that you are getting some type of personal development to up-level yourself in some way and to fill your mental cup as well. Number 9, God time every single day. For me, this is a non-negotiable. Even if it, again, right? I always have some like time efficient tips within these because some days I'm just busy. Like we have 2 kids, we have a lot going on. Some days my tips here need to be time efficient for myself to maintain. So sometimes my God time in a day is I set my 60-second breathing timer on my watch and I will start my day with a quick prayer. I'll re-put on my armor of God. I'll talk with God for a minute and off I go after that 60-second timer is done, right? It's not the best. I know that. And most days I try to have deeper conversations with God. I'm even trying lately to kind of dig into different verses and find verses that are, good for the day or just go through verses, just trying to find different ways to really have that connection because the deeper that connection is getting for me personally, the more value I'm finding in it and feeling more well-rounded. And end of the day, health is not just, can I exercise, can I eat good? It is far beyond that. All right, number 10. Always have outside sources to chat with and connect with for your mental being. So what this means, right? This doesn't mean find yourself a girlfriend that you can sit and vent to, right? Find someone that you can have regular conversations with, and regular is a word that you can define, right? But for me, how I've done this, right, is I've had a counselor on and off since I was a teenager. I've also hired coaches for myself. I've had mentors. I've had business mentors. I've had professional mentors. I have had spiritual mentors now. Find someone that you can connect with to help you. Life is not meant to be lived alone. Find someone to help you. Because helping you in whatever area they're going to help you is going to help your health. Because say it's work even. Maybe you get a mentor at work and they're helping you. That will trickle into your health because if you are stressed out at work and a mentor is coming in and helping you settle some things down, that will trickle into your health. Okay? All right. I have 2 bonus tips for you. 2 things that kind of popped into my head as I was talking. And these aren't necessarily things that I do every single day, but they're just kind of good rules of thumb that I incorporate within these tips. Okay? So first bonus is kind of going back to the exercise thing. Making sure that you're getting a variety of exercise. Don't do the same thing every day. Your body's is going to grow accustomed to it. And 2, you want to kind of mix it up so that you have focuses where you're doing more cardio or you're doing more strength training. You want to make sure that you're doing exercises that you're liking within those subcategories. So if you hate running, don't run, right? Yeah, you need cardio, but you don't need to do running if you absolutely despise it. But find different exercises to kind of mix it up for your body. I do, for example, a lot of the Beachbody ones that are nice because they kind of combine it all into one. So, for example, right now I'm actually going through Insanity again for the, millionth time. Not for real, but I did used to instruct Insanity, so I did do those types of exercises quite a bit. But Insanity is nice because you get your cardio. They focus on body resistance strength training, and there's also a little bit of stretching in there incorporated. So it's nice because it just kind of encompasses it all, right? If you can, find some programs or find some workout routines that do that. My second bonus, all right, so we're talking about all the things getting healthy, right? And like I said, mind health is important as well. So for me personally, so I don't fuck with my mind too frequently, I don't weigh in. Well, wait a minute. Didn't you just say that your weight is kind of off right now? Yeah. And, maybe once a year at the doctor or whatever, I'll weigh in. But other than that, at home, I don't weigh in. I do take my measurements though. So once a month, I'll measure myself and see where I'm at. Because to me, that's more important. I'd rather know, how is my circumference going? Or, how are my arms? How are my legs? How are my clothes fitting? Things of that sort are more important to me than what the number on the scale says. Because even when I have been really, really fit, the number is still not always something that I love. So if I don't look at the number and then pay attention to how I feel in my body, to me, that is what it's about. Okay? All right. So, busted through those 10 tips. A couple bonus ones thrown in there at the end. Of course, I want to thank you for joining me today on this episode. As I said, right in the beginning, I was joking. There is no secret sauce, though. It's just real and practical strategies that you can implement into your daily routines. Things that truly can help you take care of your well-being. Whether it's things like I was saying, right? Maybe nourishing your body with a serving of vegetables a day. Staying hydrated and making sure you're not having any coffee until you have at least, maybe it's for you, 1 8-ounce glass of water. Making sure you're working on your mind and your soul in addition, because that ties right in. Remember, it's not about being perfect with these. It's about progress. So there may be a day you're like, I'm not doing great with my tips for myself. Did you do better than you did a week ago? Or a year ago? Even though you're incorporating them, give yourself grace. You may not be at your ideal weight for you right now, even if you've been following them consistently. But it's about staying committed to your personal journey and focusing on the feelings of, I am doing what I can for my body from the inside out. As I said, don't forget to share this episode with your fellow mom pals. We all love those health tips, right? I know I always get asked by past clients or things of that sort, can you send me that article? Or, can you tell me what those tips that you shared 2.5 years ago were? We all can use a little rallying and rooting us on in our corner. And I would truly appreciate, of course, if you would rate and review this podcast. It really does help us get more people connecting with this information. Maybe it'll help somebody who needs this health tip information. So let's keep embracing a lifestyle that truly nourishes our mind, our body, and our soul. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. I'm over here cheering for you every single step of the way. Keep thriving, keep shining, and remember to equip yourself with the armor of God daily. Until next time, stay well. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Ramblings of an Addict with Jenna Dix. Remember, if you are battling an addiction, reach out for help and support. There are many resources available to assist in your journey towards recovery. Surround yourself with a supportive community and never give up on the path towards a healthier and happier life. I appreciate you taking the time to listen and joining me on this journey. As you heard, I'm always rambling. But seriously, thank you for your support and make sure to subscribe and follow my channel. I can't wait to share more with you on the next episode. Until then, keep on rambling. If you have found this podcast helpful and want to dive deeper into personal growth and self-improvement, be sure to head over to my website, jennadix.com. You'll find a wealth of resources there. There is a little less drugs, sex, and rock and roll these days, but whether you're interested in getting healthy, information on momming or parenting, or politics, jennadix.com has something for everyone. So, what are you waiting for? Head to jennadix.com today and start your journey towards personal growth and self-awareness. See you there.